Hello there, everybody. This is Amber Hawkins, your Computer Needs of Toledo LLC, celebrating year number 10 of computer training and more that comes to you. Had to deal with a few of the technical difficulties earlier. My apologies for that, but wanted to make sure we got underway. Not going to be long. Here is the conclusion of what I was mentioning earlier as far as computer illiteracy in 2013. Still haven't quite, with Blab, got to try to figure out to do the desktop sharing with Blab. I'm going to be figuring it out, I should say, as one of my goals for this weekend. So hopefully for the Blab for next week, I could do the desktop sharing like I want to. But I still don't want to waste any more time. I'm still going to give the information as needed. So here we go. Anybody in the chat room, I will be chatting with you shortly. But we're going to be dealing with, as I mentioned before, how much does computer illiteracy cost, how that expands to 2016. Hopefully the goal is to continue eradicating it as much as possible, but we're going to get into the details. And we all know, and for those who don't know, I had something in my eye there. For those who don't know, computer illiteracy is no laughing matter. When you have it where there are those who do not have the knowledge nor the ability to utilize computers and any related technology, when there are those who don't have the comfort level in using computer programs and other applications, when someone doesn't have any understanding of how computers operate nor work, and it's a problem. So computer illiteracy pretty much is what I've mentioned: having the knowledge, having the ability, being comfortable, understanding the computer, how it works, any related technologies, on from there. Computer illiteracy is the opposite of everything I just mentioned. I don't know if anyone remembers some of the computers from, as they say, back in the day, your Macs, the Macintosh computers when it first came out, the IBM ThinkPads, the computers, and even the IBMs, the dual floppy disk drives. Anybody remember floppy disk? And in addition to that, the monochrome screens. I don't know if anyone remembers using those monochrome screens and all of that. You had nothing but green and black. That's all you had. But anyway, those were the computers or types of computers that were in existence at the time. Also in existence at the time were, the use of the dot matrix printers, if anybody remembers those. The designs of computers and everything have changed. You have the monitors that have large screen monitors, some of them as big as 24 inches or above. You have people who are even using their TV screens as monitors. Are you able to operate them? Or can you still operate your laptop, or the current laptops are out there? As you know, transitions are more into tablets. Can you operate a tablet? The majority of people around the world these days use smartphones. So are you able to operate those? Let me take a few examples of some questions that are dealt with as far as, let's say, the pre-assessments or assessing how anyone has knowledge of a program, such as with Word or with Excel. It could also be with Outlook. It could be with Access. It could be with PowerPoint and the others. But the two I'm going to concentrate as far as this example is concerned are Word and Excel. So in Word, Can you move or copy a text in a document? Do you apply different text formats? Do you, or are you able to automatically put page numbers in your documents? Pretty simple, right? Pretty basic, pretty foundational. Now imagine there's a situation in which either you or someone else doesn't have knowledge of even those foundational tasks. Let's take something simple in Word. Begin a new file. Save a file. Open a file. Basic, whatever. Someone who is not as computer literate or computer literate at all goes into the Excel, opens Excel, looks at it and say, okay, what do I do? Well, you need to open a new file. How do I do that? We have a problem. Can you save the file after you type in what you have typed? The person can barely type or not type at all. After entering even the basic information, if that is the ability of that person, then you ask them to save that file. How do I do that? You go to the file menu and save. Pretty foundational. And then you got to talk them through it too. This is at a workplace, place of academia, nonprofit, or whatever. The example I use the other blab as far as the mail merge. What I want to bring forth as far as this is, okay, yes, mail merge can be done, but the person remembers doing it in Word 2003 or even Word 6.0. So can you say, wow, that's going way back. Word version 6.0, that's going way back. But they remember doing it that way. They cannot manage using the mail merge or performing the task for it in 2007. Don't even think about trying to do it as far as with 2013 is concerned. Now, we have Office 2016 pretty much at this point. At this point where either people are using it, let's say with Office 365, and it's integrated as part of the systems, or they're going to purchase it themselves, or they had been using it when it first came out as a beta, kind of a trial type of thing. Now, if they're stuck with using an older version and you're asking them to use a newer version and they're not able to do it, that's a problem. Another thing in Excel, sometimes simple tasks, show a report without the grid lines, sometimes in the form of, let's say, an expenditure report. Can that be handled? Can you do that? Can you go click on this button, click on that button, click on this menu function, click on that menu function to perform what's requested? One of the big things when it comes to Excel is creating charts. It may look complicated. It might require a lot of steps, but can you do it? No matter what the version. It could be a version from when you use Excel and Windows XP to now using Excel version 2016 if you have it in Windows 10. Can you even do, for those who have the Macintosh, do it in Office for Mac 2011? Some of the interface is still the same, how it looks is still the same, but can you perform that task? Can you differentiate between the file menu from any program in 2003 to any version of 2007, to any version in 2013, to any version in what we have now, 2016, or maybe in a different program? Can you, and it doesn't have to be Microsoft Office. It could be any software program from any industry, an industry-specific based software program. Can you operate it? Are you computer literate enough to operate it? And if the answer and the response is okay, you say press any key on the keyboard. Where is the any key? So they're looking for a key on the keyboard besides A, Q, W, function 1, F3, F4, F5, and the any key is not there. Couple of facts I wanted to bring. According to computers.ezine.com, this is from mid-2010, it was early 2015, at the time there were 7.3 billion people. Only 6% of 7.3 billion people own computers. If there isn't ownership, there isn't access. So out of 6.3 billion people, 6%, so 438 million people own computers. What happened to the other 100 million, more than 100 million, whoever, who don't have it for whatever reason? ITV.com back in June 2014. 1 in 5 cannot do the 4 basic functions of operating a computer. They cannot send email. They cannot fill out a form online. They don't have the capability of doing that. They don't have the capability of not only sending the email, but don't have the capability of knowing how to function with the email once it's received. And the fourth thing, not the ability of browsing on the internet. And we have computer literacy at work from February 2015. One of the most important things, job, whatever, and even in operating a small business, is knowing how to use the computers. And there are the needs. There are the needs for having that, even if it exists. But a lot of times throughout the years, what has been taken out of company budgets is training. And the general response to that is, we don't have the budget for the training. We already have a person who is versed in computers, an IT person, or they have another designated person who they help get the help as far as training is concerned. But though you can't see the slides, it's quite frustrating. And it's already where, okay, there are groups of people or some people in the workforce that don't have the computer literacy necessary. You're asking that designated person or that IT person to do it, this one task, and they got 999 more tasks to do that you want them to do anyway. It's quite a stressing factor. But with the way things are, there is a closing in on the eradicating of computer illiteracy, but there's still much more to do. It's going real slow, not fast as it should. It's inching away like this. So how long will that happen? I mentioned before, if anybody needs these slides, let me know. 2016 is out. The new technologies for how these computers, the software packages, the smartphones, whatever, they're out. They're going to be out. Are you able to operate it? Are you able to handle how to even transition from that? And, that's something else. How many people, and this is a simple question, believe it or not, how many people remember the foundation of the essentials of typing? You haven't heard that word in a long time. There's a computing and everything. But what about your foundational typing? Foundational. And there are people even around this time who do not know that. It is a very serious problem and one that needs to be resolved. That is my time. I thank you very much. As you can see, you want to get in contact with me, here's the Twitter handle right here. You can also find me on Facebook.com/YCNOTLLC. And for this, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. This blab will be available for those who weren't able to tune in live with me right now. But for those who are going to check out the archives and spread, the word about this, thank you very much. And what am I going to cover with next week's blab? That I don't know, but don't worry, the promos are going to go out as far as what's going to be covered as far as next week. I thank you all so much, and take care of yourselves, and make sure to tune in next week. Bye-bye. And again, thank you very much. Look for this blab. Also, I will be putting the link of the YouTube of this particular presentation, this particular webinar, and make sure you keep warm because wherever you are, it's starting to get cold and all of that. So, again, take care and bye-bye. Again, bye-bye. Thanks.